Chase me! Fuck! Can't keep up!
Nice car. What's the retail on one of those?
More than you can afford, pal. Ferrari.
What a perfect way to introduce the topic of this video, which is my new radar detector. Now, before we get started, I do want to ask you guys one question. Is it just me, or someone's driving slow in front of you, and you go around them and maybe you cut them off a little bit too close? Why do they then decide that they are going to proceed driving like fucking Dale Earnhardt Jr.? All of a sudden they want to be going 90 miles an hour. If you just drove like that in the beginning, you wouldn't have got cut off. Anyway, on to the video. What happened is, as a lot of you guys know, I run with the radar detector, and I used to run with the Valentine 1, which is kind of like the OG of radar detectors. Obviously their main claim to fame being that the directional arrows would show you exactly where the radar signal was coming from, giving you, additional information of how to either avoid it or how to proceed. The other thing is they had the bogey counter, as they called it, which gave you, of course, a number of how many radar signals you were being triggered with. Now, their patent on that directional arrows actually expired, which meant that Escort was able to release the Max 360, which essentially does the same thing. There's arrows that show you which direction, and the bogey counter, they don't call it a bogey counter, but it gives you a count of how many signals there are, and yeah. So why did I switch? Because the Valentine one was a great radar detector for a long time. I did have some concerns with it. The window mount is pretty much the cheapest piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. The best way I can relate it is the Valentine one is like Windows, and the Max 360 here is like Apple. Obviously there's guys out there, the Valentine one is highly customizable and highly expandable. You can get modules to plug into your phone and watch exactly what's going on all around you, and there's just a lot more information. I don't even know what half of it means, but that's what I mean. It's kind of like the Microsoft or the Windows, where it's kind of the old dog, but doesn't really come out with anything new very often. Kind of the old dog, no new tricks. It's expandable, but it's at your it's at your inconvenience almost. I obviously am an Apple fan, which is probably why I immediately kind of like the Escort Max quite a lot more. It's definitely more of a kind of set it and forget it type of radar detector. It has three modes, just like the Valentine one, but this one actually incorporates the GPS into the unit, whereas the Valentine one only has GPS if it's paired with your smartphone. And what that'll do is, as you're driving around, it'll actually remember your location, and if you're getting the same alerts from shopping centers frequently, it'll remember, okay, we had this same alert in this same exact spot 2 or 3 times in a row. It will automatically mute it out. It's just a lot more user friendly. I think there's an app that goes along with it where you can pair it with Bluetooth. The screen is a lot nicer. The display is a lot nicer, and it just kind of is what I want a little bit more than the Valentine. I still have the Valentine. I'm not going to get rid of it. I mean, it's already paid for it. I'm not going to sell it. So if I get a daily driver, I'll probably put the Valentine in that, or however it works out. But I just think, for what I want, and what essentially the reason that I hadn't gone with a more advanced radar detector in the first place was obviously the directional arrows for me is a must, and yeah. So the Escort Max 360 is more expensive. I got it for $580 on Amazon. The link will be in the description. MSRP is up at $650 though, which is a fair chunk of change. But the Valentine one is a little bit cheaper. But like I said, for instance, just to update the Valentine one, rather than just plugging it into your computer, you actually have to send it to Valentine and pay a fee to get it updated, whereas obviously the Max 360 is updatable through your own home computer. So just stuff like that. It's kind of a newer technology, but it keeps a lot of the old features that the Valentine was popular for. A couple of the other features that made me switch were, I'm sure you guys remember in a couple of videos I would have trouble actually seeing the Valentine 1. And what it is, it's a black unit, and it's just got small red lights that light up to notify you what's going on. And where it is I couldn't read it. I have it right up here, just on the rear view mirror, and I don't wear glasses or anything, but like I said, I couldn't read what it was trying to tell me a lot of the time, which obviously makes the radar detector quite redundant. So a big reason also that I prefer the Max 360 is you have the ability to change the colors of the arrow. So I believe X-band, which I have turned off because I don't think any cop runs X-band, but X-band I believe shows up green, K-band shows up blue, and then KA-band, which is the actual police detectors, and laser show up red. So even if you can't specifically see, you know, what it's trying to show you right then and there, you can just kind of, I know if I look over and I see a red light, that it's time to slow down. The other thing is if you do link the Escort Max 360 to your phone, there's a kind of a community similar to Waze where people can go on and upload updates about speed traps, you know, basically just speed traps, which will automatically download to your unit. So I am, like I said, a proponent of radar detectors. Whether you are a fast driver or whether you road trip frequently, you know, I think for the money, you know, I understand $580 is a lot of money, almost $600 is a lot of money, but it's already mathematically proven that, you know, if it saves you from one ticket, it's already paid for itself. The other thing is, obviously, you know, it's going to last a long time, and, you know, if you're considering a radar detector in the first place, I mean, I don't have to explain it, why you need it. So, like I said, I would suggest over the two, between the Valentine 1 and the Escort Max 360, I would definitely spend the extra money on the Escort Max, just because of the extra features, the improved display, the just kind of the newer technology. The window mount is a lot better. I've had it up there for about 2 weeks now. I wanted to give it a proper test before I released the video, and it hasn't budged at all. The nice thing is the hard wire that I had going from the Valentine to my power rear view mirror, the Escort uses the same exact power cord, so you didn't have to rewire anything. So that was nice. I can't think of anything else right now. I will leave you guys with a little bit of advice. If you are a speeder and you have a radar detector in your mirror or your window, and you do get pulled over, I would say it's almost guaranteed that you're going to get a ticket, because I don't know a cop that is going to see a radar detector and think that you are not a habitual speeder. So just keep that in mind. As we've gone over in other videos, just get a traffic lawyer. It's the easiest way to overcome speeding tickets, and it's almost 100% effective. So I'll part with you with that, and we'll see you on the next video. If you guys haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It helps us grow, helps us be able to make better content and more variable content, as well as check out the store in the bio.